everybody. My name is Misty Gaither, and welcome to Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. Really appreciate you choosing to watch our show. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe and like button. And if you are just one of the members of the Quest crew, thank you so much for returning. And we're here with, I like to call them the two Dinas.
Yes.
Dina number one, Dina number two. And your name doesn't have to be Dina to work at the Mystic Path in Gretna, but it doesn't hurt, right?
Right.
Well, let me ask you something now. The Mystic Path is on Durbany Street in Gretna.
Yes.
All right. And tell me what all alternative and holistic, but I believe that you offer more than that.
We offer Reiki, we offer readings, we have crystals. You know, it's all about your path in life, basically. And we're there to help people follow their path and learn more about all the new things that are happening with awakenings. And we teach Reiki, and we do have past life regressions now. Dina does astrology. Mm-hmm. And we've had several different classes. I mean, all the way down to jewelry making classes. So we're trying to build a community for people that need us and that are on their spiritual path.
Now, what I did notice about y'all is that y'all are really supportive of other stores that are in the same genre as what you're in, and that it's all about success.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always say this, you cannot be successful until you help someone else too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, helping everybody. And then I was so, impressed that y'all have that same kind of, I guess, slogan or something, that what y'all do is that y'all try to, of course, everybody, you want to put all your time into your business, mm-hmm. but you have to allot time to be there for others too. And I really see that y'all do that, and I really appreciate that.
We do. We have people come in from all genres of life that are in need of us, and if we can't help them, we send them somewhere else.
Yeah.
We have no problems with that. And we have friends in the metaphysical world, and they know that we do, and they send people to us too. And it's all about lifting each other, because we all need this.
Exactly.
We need this. We need this with the spiritual awakening for sure.
Well, especially, how everything is now, the world, and it's so crazy, and,
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of depression, a lot of oppression, just so much going on. And then I think that when you have that tendency, to be that way, and that's the example that you said, it's like mm-hmm. like a bright light to people. And that they want to be around that they mm-hmm. want to have what you have, and to be around the environment, mm-hmm. and to have everybody like what crystal do I need to have more positivity in my life, all those things. And I think that people are turning more mm-hmm. to mm-hmm. I don't know the right word for it, but to the metaphysical or the holistic, just different things like that, because healthcare is out, the cost and everything is out the box.
Well, I think people are learning these days that the power to heal is within themselves. Mm-hmm. And we've been so conditioned not to believe that. But the truth of it is we can, and I think that people are really, since, COVID, I think people are really had time to read, had time to talk to each other, and have learned a lot. And, I just think that it was an awakening. It was an eye-opener, really, at that time. And I think that people are realizing how powerful they are. They're coming into their power, and that's what's important, I think.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah, you do Reiki mm-hmm. yourself. Now, is that something, and I'm like I said, this is a journey, and I'm, I don't pretend to know everything about everything, but like with Reiki, is that like something that you learn, or is that a gift, or are you like intuitive or a healer, and it just all kind of works together?
I think everybody is capable of healing. It's just, the intention that you set mm-hmm. is what's important. We work with the chakras, and that's another show, but I believe that everybody is capable of doing it, and you can heal yourself. And you have to be certified, so we teach classes. I teach, Reiki 1, 2, and 3. And I've had my first Reiki class out of the shop. And so we're looking at Reiki 2 now. And so, yeah, I believe that everybody can heal themselves and others.
Now, even though, like, when you go get Reiki or whatever, it's set up kind of like a massage table thing, but then I was disappointed because I was like, oh, it's not a massage.
It's not.
Right.
Sorry.
Sorry. I was like, oh, okay. No, but seriously, it is so, I've had Reiki a couple of times, and it's just so, it's really hard to put into words how it makes you feel because it's really not like a lot of touching or whatever going on. It's more of
Yeah.
the, like I'm just trying to, some people may not be aware or, know about Reiki. And so for our viewers, I'm just trying to, kind of
Yeah.
explain what Reiki is.
And so you mentioned about being intuitive. Some people that do Reiki are very intuitive and pick up on things. I do mediumship, so sometimes I get visitors come in,
Sure.
and it just depends. So many people have, talents with it. It is strictly, first and foremost, a healing modality. But when you're blessed with, gifts, sometimes they come in.
You can't control it. It could be at 2 or 3 in the morning.
That's
and
right.
It could be at the grocery store, at the library. You just really don't know what. Now, I saw something on your Facebook, and I was just wondering what the definition was of this. Muse discourse.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
So-
Dina, too.
So we wanted to build a community at Mystic Path and get people talking, and not only just talking, but comfortable having the conversations that they really can't have anywhere else. And so me and Dina got together and we wanted to make a event where you can come and you can come, it doesn't have to always be a certain thing, but it can be anything that you have been inspired by. And you can feel comfortable to have that conversation and to get feedback without judgment. And it's all about understanding and accepting the things that you are feeling passionate about. And so we kind of gave that Muse discourses inspiration and discussion. So
Well, that's pretty cool, and I'd like to know more about that. Now, astrology.
yes.
Okay. Now, I know that I'm a Cancer, and everybody goes, well,
Well, that depends.
yeah. Me and my wife both are Cancers.
I've been studying astrology for a little while, and I really enjoy Vedic astrology because it goes more towards where the planets and the stars are now, not where they were, 2,000 such years ago. And so you may be a Cancer or you may be a Gemini. We would just have to take a look. I know in Western I was a Libra, but in Vedic I actually was in the Virgo constellation. So that's a little something if you don't understand astrology, you might be like, what is all this? But astrology is very beautiful. And, you were saying about the awakening, that prediction happened in definitely 2019 and 2020. You can use astrology to see energies coming through and help you kind of navigate your life a little better.
Now, astrology for me was like in the newspaper around the comics, and you would, they'd have like horoscope, and then you would check your birth date. I'm a Cancer, and you'd kind of read, and it'll say like love life, work, family, like have the categories, and it'll tell you like what it is for the day or for the year. But what you're saying is it's a little bit more than that, because I
yeah.
may not even be a Cancer all this time that I've been reading the wrong horoscope.
Yeah, in astrology you have your big three. So in most horoscopes, automatically people think, oh, I'm going to read my sun sign one. That is usually not how the horoscope is written. It's usually written for your ascendant sign, and that's usually how it's showing all of the other planets and how they're playing in your chart. And so you would have to know what that was, and you would have to have a time of birth for that. There are some astrologers that can calculate when your time of birth is if you don't have an exact one, but I'm not there yet.
Now, is it numerology? Is that also involved, or?
Oh, yeah. So, tarot, numerology, palmistry, astrology, all of those kind of like are with each other. And they each tell kind of a very similar story, which is kind of, your path in life.
Now, I had someone do numerology, a guest on the show, and I was like, wait, and he was wanting to do mine, which is cool. But I was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing like a serial killer or something? And he's
Oh, those
like,
are fun.
I know. And so he's like, oh yeah, who? And I was like, well, he's really not classified as a serial killer, but how about doing Jim Jones? And it was really so interesting of all that, that he didn't know who Jim Jones was at all. And so what he was bringing out on the show, and it was just so on point about how that Jim Jones was, his life and even the death and what caused him to start the church and become a minister and all that. So I was just really impressed with that. So they do go hand in hand.
I wonder if he was like an 11 or a 22 or something like that.
I can't remember. I have to watch. Y'all all go watch the
Yeah.
show. No, but
I'm going to have to go and
Yeah.
look.
yeah, it's a Jim Jones, and I can't remember. And then I know he was saying like if you add this number to that number, then you get an 8 or a 9 or
Yes,
something
yes,
about me. So like a
yes.
lot of 8s. I can't remember all what he said, but it was like that. So I just think it's just wonderful, and I'm trying to understand everything. And
It's a lot. It really is. And a lot of people, they get very intimidated when they're first getting into it because it's kind of like an onion. You can keep peeling and peeling. There are so many layers, but this is kind of a life journey. And so don't feel like you have to learn everything, now. You take your time and let it absorb.
that's great advice. Now you were saying that you were also a medium.
It's been happening for a lot of years. I had a hard time accepting it and dealing with it.
I was going to say, I felt that, and I felt like here recently more you've kind of,
I actually took some classes on mediumship because I thought I was crazy
okay.
and I wanted to really see and understand it more. So I did. I took some mediumship classes, and for years they've been talking to me. And you think you're, a little crazy, but
Sure.
you're not. And then you realize how you can connect. And so that's what I've been doing more and more. And I'm to the point in life where this is who I am, and it's real.
Yeah.
And I don't really care what people say to me, like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you hear voices? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. My ancestors, my angels, the divine. Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with being crazy.
Yeah, if this is crazy, we're happy.
That's right.
Right. I mean, it really is. So you use the gifts that you were given, and then that helps you with your Reiki and, the gifts. Now, are you intuitive or anything like that? Or
So I got into astrology because I like information. So I kind of like more factual things. And yes, I have intuitive abilities, but what drew me to astrology is how much science kind of was behind it and how long it has been through texts for, centuries. And just, I love stuff like that. So I love information. So that's why I was originally drawn to it. But, sometimes you're giving a reading and something that's not on the paper comes through and you're just like, well, I'm going to have to just say this because,
yeah.
that's what they need to hear.
And like I always say, like right at the moment, they may not understand or remember, like you said, I'm getting the name Fred, just, and then, no, I don't know anybody, Fred. And then I'm like, put it on a shelf. And
Yeah.
then because, like when you're sitting there and you don't know really what's going on or what to expect and your mind's going through, you're trying to think of everybody that you've known or, has passed and, and then it just, sometimes it don't click right then.
Yeah.
And it has to go till later. You were talking about how that, your mediumship, that, you were a little hesitant at first, or was it the reason of your hesitancy? Is that a word?
It's okay.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay. All right. The reason for that, was it like, maybe like a religious,
For sure.
okay.
I mean, from the time I was young, I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and we didn't have a whole lot of that going on up there. We had one store called The Hidden Path, which we are kind of a spinoff of,
Yeah.
because my friends owned it. They were building a community. They'd been there 20 years.
Wow.
I didn't have a whole lot of people to really bounce anything off of or learn from. And right before we moved down here to New Orleans, they started having classes and stuff. And I've experienced this all my life, but I just didn't know what to do with it.
I'm thinking like during the pandemic,
Yeah.
how everybody kind of had to reevaluate, you know, your interaction with people because, that was kind of taken away. And like you said, like everything was, kind of done like via Zoom meetings or you just on the phone or texting or whatever. And it wasn't a lot of the human one-on-one, communication. And do you think that time caused more people to be more open?
I think so. And I think the vibration of the earth changed. I think people's vibrations were going up because of things that they were reading and realizing that a lot of what they had learned over the years was not true and following other paths. And I think that that's why things really opened up.
Yeah, because I think for a lot of people, it was probably to do with mortality. Because we didn't
Absolutely.
know I remember when COVID first hit and, and it was, and everybody, we couldn't go to work. We couldn't go to eat. We couldn't do anything. And it was just like a time of fear and uncertainty. And then that makes me wonder if that kind of played into people being more receptive to spiritual things because you're like, oh, well, something happens to me, you just don't never know, during that time. And so I really think that it did open up
I think it did.
the spiritual doors and stuff for people to be more inquisitive and to want to kind of say, like, let me check in more about this,
I don't think it's all the time, but I have found that a lot of the time when there is hardship going on, that is when you start to, as they like to say, wake up or have some kind of spiritual, more spiritual pulls than when, everything is going hunky-dory and, the sun is shining outside. But yeah, usually when something of hardship is going on, that's when I find more people turn to find real answers.
Yeah. That's when people have big time answers, like during the war when the Ouija board came out and just different modalities then. I think so.
That's something. And I've never done is a Ouija board. I've never done that. And I've never been to a seance.
Those are so fun.
Yeah.
I know. And
Cool.
I forgot to tell Patty Negri because, she does seances all the time and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool to do one, not to do one, but to be in one involved. Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, I played with the Ouija board when I was young. And my girlfriend's grandma, we were over there playing, all of us girls, with the Ouija board. Italian lady comes in and says, get rid of that. She was freaking out. Burn it. She's wrapping it. She's running with it. I'm like, oh my God. That was the last time.
Right. It scared you. You're like, I won't even touch one now. I'm good. I saw a quote on your Facebook page that I really liked, and it said, when you heal in yourself, that you heal your family line.
Yeah.
And that was it kind of resonated with me because so many times, there, as like during, like families, there's that cycle.
Yes.
That everybody, you try hard not to, but you repeat and you say things. You're like, wait, my mom said that. I sound like my mom, and and just different things that's kind of passed on down.
And they
through
call
the
them
family.
generational curses.
Yeah.
There's different names for them.
But I thought that was really cool, that quote, because it's like if you take care of yourself and make sure yourself is right and you're healed and you're clear, and that means that the next generation.
Well, it's all about healing, your traumas, your traumas in your life and in your ancestors' life. And that's all a part of working with your ancestors and finding out different things about them and knowing your family's past and being able to heal that curse, that they call it. But it's a lot of work. It's digging deep, into your soul and accepting the trauma and learning how to compartmentalize it and move forward so that you don't take it into your next life.
Yeah.
And that really makes a lot of sense now when you were saying, like about your ancestors and stuff. And I noticed that Cheyenne, Dicey, or Kook,
Yeah.
she's been on my show too.
Yeah.
And that it was really cool. I think it was in the first week of October. I don't know if y'all were there or not, but it was at the New Orleans Healing Center. And she had, and I've talked about it on one other time on the show, but she had put an altar up. It was the Day of the Dead, and she put an altar up for you to remember your great grandmother.
That's right.
And I just, that just so impressed me, because how many times do you not think about your great grandmother? I mean, I don't. Do you?
I do.
Okay, I'm
Because
wrong.
I do work, no,
Yeah.
but not everybody does.
Right,
Yeah.
But I do work with my ancestors.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I do, and I call their names, and I try to. See, I have nobody to ask now about them because my grandparents are gone, my parents are gone. So I try to talk to relatives about our family and stories so that I can relate to them or know something about them. And believe me, they love that. They really do. Love that you know and that you remember them.
And we had, because, I totally agree with that. And what she had us do was you write your great grandmother's name on a piece of paper and then you hang it up. She had like a tree or something. And that was to show honor, to your great grandmother. And I got to thinking, because the, mediumship, psychic, all that's passed down. And it made me think at that time, I'm like, well, wait, I remember some stories that my grandmother would tell me about my great grandmother, about her seeing things or, doing things. And I'm like, that makes sense now. And I don't know why I hadn't really thought of it before, but it caused me to, just kind of remember her. And, I didn't know her for a long time, but I just always enjoyed the stories that my grandmother would tell about her. And I'm like, well, that's where, I'm blessed to have the gift is through her.
Oh, definitely. I know my gift comes from my great grandmother in Napoleonville. She was known as the healer of Napoleonville, and I'm pretty sure that's probably why I have the gifts I have today.
And so just to have that moment to say thank you was just beautiful to me. And, it's an experience that I'll never forget at all.
I think it's on November 1st, the Day of the Dead. And at that time, the veil is still very thin. So, they get to hang out with us all day and with us talking about them and making special things for them. They're just so happy.
Oh, yeah. We all want to be remembered and and so when we actually do it, it's pretty cool. Now, I also saw something that I didn't realize that was going on, and I was like, okay, well, I'm certainly going to ask. So maybe y'all could explain it more to me. The Legendary Order of the Casket Girls?
Yeah, actually, that's not our thing, but
Right.
a friend of mine,
Right.
Julie, is one of the high councils.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have I think it said like 6 members or something, or I don't know, or like maybe it's the board or something, and they do, can you explain, like for people who are watching that may not know what the Casket Girls are? Do y'all know? Or?
Well, it's a New Orleans story.
Right.
I don't know if it's like the 1700s, but a lot of people that came to New Orleans were actually criminals. And so there wasn't a lot of women here. And so they began to send these young girls, and their life expectancy was not very high. So they would send them with their coffin as well. And so they kind of got named, I think, Casket Girls. There's also the lore of the vampires, that they weren't actually for them, but they were transporting vampires in the caskets. So, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's New Orleans. Of course, there's vampires and
Vampires.
caskets and all of the above. And congratulations. Isn't Mercury retrograde over with
Not
now?
yet.
Not yet? Is it
Not
getting
yet.
there?
It's getting close, but this one's
Okay.
an intense one because of the eclipse.
Yep.
And also Jupiter and Uranus are conjunct, which is making everything wild.
Now, is Mercury retrograde, is it always a negative thing or no?
No, I wouldn't say a retrograde is exactly negative. It is just a time of review. And so, usually, let's say you write a contract and you send it out, and most of the time it's good. But if it's Mercury retrograde, you might want to look over it a little bit, because there's probably something you didn't do quite right, because there's a lot of communication going on, and everyone seems to be a little like, it's just a really, it's in Vedic astrology, they say it's kind of amplified. And so, not everyone's ready to deal with that.
It's kind of like I can't remember how many R's, but it's review, reflect,
Yes, yes.
remember.
Yes.
But I say remember, but then I forgot the other ones. But anyway, it's like Mercury retrograde. People, when you hear that, like most people are like, oh God, no. But it's not like you said, it's not always a negative occurrence. It could be, like we all need to look inside ourselves and reflect, and to
Maybe before saying that word, you should think about it a little more.
Yeah, it definitely. Let's talk about more things that the store has to offer. It's on the 900 block, I think 924, is that correct? And on Durbany Street in Gretna. And y'all need to come. Y'all are also online, that people that are not live here, they can check it out, or?
Yeah, we have Facebook page, and we really try to put as much as we can on it. And we do have we will, if anybody wants to purchase anything, send it out. It's not a problem.
Now you had Greg Nichols.
Yes,
Okay.
Gregory Nicholas. Yes, we had him.
All right, tell me about him now. He's so psychic.
Oh, he's a psychic medium, and he's pretty amazing. And he's been doing it his whole life from the time he was young, and it was a generational thing. And he's just great. He came into the shop. He comes once a year. Hopefully, he'll be coming sooner. And he does investigations as well. And so he was here, about a month ago?
Yeah.
And he did readings, and he was swamped. And people love when he comes. He's spot on.
Yeah.
Right.
Spot on. He reads dominoes. He reads cards. He'll do palm reading. Yeah, and he does investigations as well.
Now, that's the first time I've ever heard of someone reading dominoes.
Oh yeah, it's definitely different.
I never, I heard about the tea leaves and the bones and this and that, but never dominoes.
Yeah.
I mean, does he just take them and, just kind of shuffle them around, or how
what?
is that? I'm just kind of nosy about it.
I don't really know. And I've never actually seen him do it. I know he does it. I've seen him, and I've had readings from him.
Hey everybody, this is Misty Gaither, and guess what? We have merch now. That's right, Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. We have t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, just about anything that you would want has the Quest logo on it. Be sure to click on the link below, and it'll take you right to the site, and you can just pick out what you like and, buy your friends something, buy your family members something. It'll be great. Quest is sponsored by Chef Ron's Gumbo Stop. For award-winning gumbo by an award-winning chef, be sure to check out Chef Ron's Gumbo Stop. It is in Metairie. And just today, it was released that Chef Ron was named the best jambalaya in our area. So that's pretty cool. They also have bread pudding, and be sure to go and check them out. We also have the Haunted Hotel that's on Ursuline Street in New Orleans. And let me tell you, I have stayed there several times. I have investigated there several times. It is very haunted. It is where allegedly the Axeman of New Orleans stayed while he went on his murderous spree. So be sure to go on to hauntedhotelnola.com and book your stay. Book a night, book 2 nights, because you will not be disappointed. We also have Area 51 Gallery for all your merch needs. Rocket, he does our buttons and our magnets. So be sure to go in there if you have a crew, a party, an event, just whatever that you need promoted. Be sure to contact Rocket, and he will consult with you, and your event will be unique because he has unique merchandise. Louisiana Pizza Kitchen Uptown, where every Wednesday is Family and Friends Night. They have half off all adult beverages including bottles of wine. And you know what? You can also go there on Sundays because they have mimosas and Bloody Marys that are just out of this world and at a good price too. So be sure to check out Louisiana Pizza Kitchen. It's the corner of Carrollton and St. Charles right there at the River Bend. We also are sponsored by Louisiana Spirits. It is a paranormal team that encompasses the whole state of Louisiana. So if you are needing an investigation in your home or business, be sure to contact Louisiana Spirits. They have a Facebook page and they will take care of you. Well, you was talking about investigations. Do y'all do investigations?
So we want to.
Okay.
We really want to. And I have somebody that's maybe interested in doing it with us. And so we'll see. But we have two in our shop. We have a male and we have a female. And we call him the doorkeeper because as soon as you walk in, everybody goes like this because like he's there.
Oh, okay.
And they know they can feel his energy. Some people actually see him out the corner of their eye and they'll double look. And then we have a woman that comes and you can feel her too. And several people have seen something or felt something, but yeah, we'd love to do investigations. From the day I opened the shop, I said, I want to do investigations and we need to, it's not something that I really know much about. So I need to get somebody in there to.
Now, do you want your shop investigated or do you just want to like go on elsewhere?
No, we want to do,
investigations.
we want to do that, the shop, and then go elsewhere. Absolutely. Yeah,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
All right. So we'll have to figure this out later because I love investigating.
Yeah.
You can go on the web, the Facebook page, or get in touch with you at the
We have a
Mystic Path.
website as well.
Okay, and like to schedule any Reiki or astrology or
Yeah.
tarot or anything like that.
It's best just to call and I usually do Reiki on Mondays and Tuesdays because that's the day the shop's closed. Because our area is not really very big and she does her readings. Her astrology readings, and we do have readings on Friday with Brandy from 3 to 6, and she is amazing. And then we have people coming in, like I said, every day with questions, and we have Muse. And Muse is really important for people that really need to talk about what they've been through in their life with their psychic abilities and with things that they've maybe have experienced. And like Dina said, they don't want to go just talk to anybody. And the lady that came in today, she was like, I don't really want to talk to just anybody about what's happening with me right now. But my friend told me to come here and I would feel comfortable. So,
Well, that's a testament to y'all,
Yeah.
you know, that people know that you would make them comfortable, and that's really cool because so many people are kind of hesitant to talk about it because they don't know about, how will people react to me, or will people think I'm crazy, or I just don't want to accept I have a gift and just don't want to deal with it. You know, that's how I kind of think.
well, this lady today that came in, she was afraid. And she grew up in a faith that I'm just shocked that she even walked through our door, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Must have been Pentecostal.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
That's
And
hardcore.
There was a lady that came a few weeks ago who was Catholic, and she was having a really hard time because she was being pushed to do tarot cards. And that's been happening a lot lately. I think in the last 6-7 years, you know, this whole metaphysical world has really opened up. And a lot, you know, these things like astrology and tarot and, you know, witches and even like Reiki healing, not as much Reiki, but still like all of that seemed very not like you weren't supposed to talk about it, you know, you're not supposed to delve into it. But what, you know I studied a little bit on religion, and a lot of the religions use the same thing as sage and crystals, and, you know, they use it because it works. And I think that's what people, you know, with the spread of technology are really starting to come to terms with. Like, they're starting to look in things themselves who are like, well, if it's working for these and these people, like, why can't it also work for me? Why do I have to go to somebody to, you know, get healed? Or, you know, why can't I just go directly to, you know, the divine? And I think more people are accepting this, and more people are, in a sense, waking up to this, and they're having more questions, and they're still a little scared, but I think they're feeling a little more comfortable to get out there and to try to find some real answers.
Yeah, I truly believe that, because if you think about it, like years ago, like you really couldn't even discuss the paranormal too much because it was such a stigma on it. And then, and then the ghost shows started coming and kind of made it more mainstream. And then you have like some of the more widely known psychics and stuff on TV. And then people got to see that, it really does help people. It really is nothing to be ashamed of. It's just, you have to navigate what's going on. And instead of living in fear or uncertainty, you can go to the mystic path or go to someone, and they, can help you and guide you and let you know what needs to be done so that your mind can be at peace.
Yeah, stand in your
Absolutely.
power.
That's right.
Yeah. So I am coming one day to see y'all at the Mystic Path. I
We
think
would
it would
love
be
that.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope you enjoyed being on the show, and I hope you'll join us again.
We will, absolutely.
Good. All right. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And do not forget to check out the Mystic Path in Gretna. They have a website. They have a store. They have a Facebook. There's no excuse. So I will see you next week, and have a good night.